Hi everyone, I'm Emma Hague, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm a Procter Gallagher consultant and real results mentor, helping self-employed women create six figures and beyond with a business they are 100% in love with. And I want to talk to you today about money mindset. Now, those of you who do know me will know that mindset pretty much runs through everything I teach, whether it's personal development or it's how to build a business that you love. But I want to talk specifically about why mindset in general is so important, how it affects you, and how you can change yours if it's holding you back. So let's get started. So, what is money mindset? What are we talking about when we say money mindset? And it's a phrase that's thrown around quite a lot nowadays. It's become sort of the in thing to talk about, but what does it actually mean? Well, I get loads of women telling me that they know their mindset's holding them back, but they don't know what to do about it. They'll say, I know it's my mindset that's stopping me doing what I need to do, and I don't know what to do about it. What they usually mean is it's the thoughts they're having about money. Okay, it's the money mindset, it's the doubts, the worries, the fears they have about losing money specifically that are stopping them from doing the things that they know would actually change their results. So, your money mindset is a mixture of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions around money. Okay, it's what we would lump together as your attitude around money. Okay, the way you feel about it, the way you deal with it, the habits that you have around it. That's what we call your money mindset. And when you're in business, it affects absolutely everything, because let's be really honest, everything comes back to money when you're in business, whether it's the need to earn more money, whether it's thinking about whether to invest money, fear about losing things, fear about losing clients, worrying about how you're going to charge more for what you do. Money is at the heart of everything when you've got a business. So if you have a business, or if you're wanting to start a business, having the right money mindset is absolutely crucial. So let's get into where yours has come from. So before we get into the details about where your money mindset has come from, let's just consider for a minute why it's so important. Okay. As I've already said, money is at the heart of everything when you've got a business. But why is it mindset? What has mindset got to do with it that is so fundamental to how you run your business? The thing is, everything stems from your mind. Okay. Everything you do, everything you say, the way that you feel about everything all stems from your thoughts. Okay. Everything comes from what you're thinking. So, what you're thinking about money is driving all of the actions that you take and all the actions that you don't take, all of the things that you say, things that you don't say, things that you, decisions that you make, decisions that you don't make. It's all driven by what you think, and specifically in business, often what you think about money. So if you have a negative money mindset, okay, and by negative, I mean, if you have a mindset that's sort of got its base in fear and doubt and worry and insecurity and uncertainty, that is going to affect the kind of decisions that you make. And it's going to stop you very often taking the actions that you need to take to move you forward in business. And this is why so many people that I speak to have done what I did and gotten all these programs and courses and workshops and done all this training about technical stuff, about Facebook ads and Google ads and how to use YouTube and how to speak on the stage and how to do teleseminars and all the stuff that I did, email marketing, Facebook Messenger bot marketing, all that kind of stuff. So many people that I speak to have done all of that and still aren't getting the results that they want in their business. And that's because you can have all of this knowledge in your conscious mind. You can know how to do things. You can even know the things you need to be doing. But if at the heart of it, your money mindset is one of fear, if you're nervous about stuff, if you're worried about what the outcome is going to be, if you're worried about failing, if you're worried about losing money, that makes you feel a certain way. Okay, it makes you feel anxious, makes you feel doubtful. And those negative emotions are what holds you back and what actually stops you taking the action you know you need to take, stops you implementing the things you know you need to implement. So all of those things you've learned are basically redundant until you actually manage to change your mindset round if you've got a particular negative mindset. Now, a lot of people tell me, but I am really positive. You know, I always look on the bright side. You know, I'm always looking to the future and sort of brushing myself off and getting up. Your money mindset sits in your subconscious mind. We're going to talk about paradigms in just a little bit. It sits in your subconscious mind very often. These are not conscious thoughts that you're having. They are subconscious or unconscious thoughts that are driving your decisions and driving your actions. So yes, some people do implement. I'm a fantastic implementer. I am really good at following instructions, following recipes, and implementing what I learn. But if your money mindset's off, if your paradigm's off, which again we'll talk about later, you're not in the right position to maximize those opportunities. You won't have the right self-image, the right self-confidence to go out and do what you need to do with those tools. Or, you know, you won't be attracting the right kind of ideas or opportunities to make the most of those tools and to know what to do next. So money mindset, crucial. Okay, absolutely crucial to have a positive, good mindset, abundance mindset, or growth mindset if you've got your own business. Okay, so just talked about some of the words for positive mindset, abundance mindset, growth mindset. You might hear it spoken about. A negative mindset, you might hear it called scarcity mindset, or a lack and limitation mindset, or a fixed mindset. There's quite a lot of different words for it. Basically means thinking about money in a negative way. So let's have a look at some of the statements that you might find yourself saying in your business if you're suffering from one of those negative money mindsets. Okay, so one of the really common statements that I hear from women in business who've got a bit of a negative money mindset is people won't pay more than I charge for what I do, or people won't pay higher fees for what I do. Okay, now this is usually a fear of what people are going to think if you charge more than you do, and it usually results in women undercharging and attracting clients who don't want to pay very much for the services, okay, which then enters you into a negative cycle because you're attracting clients who don't want to pay very much, maybe who complain about what you're charging, which reinforces the belief, the idea, that negative idea that people won't pay more for what you do. And it just carries on. You just keep attracting more of the same people, making the same decisions, and it means you get stuck. And very often businesses fail because they run out of money, because women aren't charging what they need to be charging, and actually what they are worth, what they should be charging, in order to keep their business buoyant and to provide a really good service. So that is the first thing, and probably the most frequent statement that I hear women say who need to change their mindset. Okay, second most common statement I hear is that every time I earn more money, another unexpected bill comes in and eats it up. Okay, what's the point in earning more? I'll just attract more bills and have to pay more out. Okay, that's another really common phrase that I hear, actually not just from women in business, from women who have jobs as well, proper jobs as well. But what it does is it puts you in a state of fear that you're going to run out of money. It puts you in a state of worry that you're not going to have enough money to pay the bills at the end of the month. So it makes you hold money back. It keeps it out of circulation. It stops you investing in things that you know would really catapult your business forward, which means that you don't get the opportunity to make the money that you need to make or want to make, which means that you are always living hand to fist every month or thereabouts, which then reinforces this feeling that you don't have enough money to do what you want to do, and you're not going to have enough money to pay the bills. and it's just a negative cycle. So we need to change that to get you out of it, if that's where you are, because there are some things that you do have to invest in if you've got your business, whether it's time or money. There are some things that you are going to have to do to get yourself out of the place that you are currently in. Otherwise, you're going to stay stuck. So the third statement that I hear very often from women in business is this belief that people who charge more than I do are just greedy. Okay, now that does stem from a bit of an issue around pricing, insofar as very often they're not sure what they should be charging for a start. So they kind of work it out on some strange hourly rate that they've come up with themselves. But it also stems from what you're taught when you're young. Okay, this belief, as we're going to talk about later when we talk about paradigms, has usually come from what you've been led to believe as you've grown up, and the beliefs and the ideas that you've developed over the years. But what happens is, if you are one of those people who thinks that other people are just greedy because they're charging more than you do, what it tends to do then is make you feel guilty for wanting to charge more or for needing to charge more for your services, and probably then undercharging. In fact, some women actually charge lower than the competition on purpose, almost as a selling point, as a, we don't need to charge that much, I just want to help you kind of thing, which is very admirable. But from a business point of view, it's usually those businesses that fail because they run out of money, can't afford to keep going. And what happens then is you see those people that you deem to be greedy and such, you see them excelling, you see them surviving or them thriving in business, which then can lead to further resentment because you don't feel like you can charge people more for your help. And that then leads to more negative feelings and more of a negative downward cycle. So, as I said, money just runs through everything. It runs through how we feel about our businesses, how we feel about helping people. When we really want to help people in the best way we can, very often we feel guilty charging for those services. And that's what we need to change if you are going to run a successful six-figure business and beyond. So by contrast, I mentioned earlier a few names for positive mindset. I said you might hear it called a growth mindset or an abundance mindset. So let's now have a look at some of the statements, some of the thoughts that you might be having if you've got a growth mindset or an abundance mindset or a more positive mindset. Let's have a look what you might be thinking, the kind of ideas that are going through your head when you have got the mindset that you need to succeed in business. Okay, so one example of a statement with a positive mindset might be, premium prices encourage greater commitment from my ideal clients and produce better results for those clients. Okay, totally true. When you come at your business from this kind of angle and you are charging more for your services, you're attracting a better kind of client, you're attracting people who are actually committed to improving their own results, who will engage with you better, who are actually doing the work that you've set them or implementing the skills and tools that you've given them, they're going to get better results. And if you have a mindset like this, and these are the kind of thoughts you're having, charging premium prices, attract clients who are more committed and who will get better results, that kind of mindset gives you the confidence to go out and explain how you can help people produce better results than they're currently getting, and it gives you the confidence to charge what you're actually worth. And that leads to an upward spiral, because if you're charging what you're worth, you're earning more, your confidence goes up, you feel better about your business, you feel better about what it is that you do for people. That then comes across when you're talking to people, and that then creates an upward spiral. Okay, second statement that might be produced by a more positive money mindset would be something like, I always attract the money I need when I need it. Okay, this is the complete opposite to a lack mindset, which is constantly focused on worrying about the lack of money and worrying about what you're going to do if it gets to the end of the month and you haven't got enough money to pay the bills. Okay, this is coming from a positive point of view. It's coming from a positive expectation, which is really important. It helps to calm you a little bit, helps you to make better business decisions. If you're not worrying all the time that you're not going to have the money at the end of the month, then there's less of a chance that you're not going to have the money that you need at the end of the month. Okay, so expectation is really, really important. We don't talk about the law of attraction here. We'll talk about that in another video. But the law of attraction has its foundations in what you are expecting, basically. So if you're expecting to run out of money by the end of the month, the chances are you probably will. If you're expecting that the money's going to come as and when you need it and that everything will be okay, generally speaking, it is. Okay, so that's our second positive money mindset statement. Okay, so our third statement, coming from a more positive mindset, might be something like premium prices mean I can work with fewer clients and create amazing outcomes with them. Okay, again, comes back to pricing, premium pricing, in fact. But once you get this kind of mindset, it just creates such an amazing kind of business because you stop competing on price. You realize that those competitors of yours, those people who are in your industry, who are competing on price, who are just trying to produce the lowest prices possible to attract people, that's because they don't have a results-based reason for those people to come to them. Okay, if they did, they would be using it and they would be charging more. So again, it helps you look at your business differently. It helps you look at the competition differently. It helps you reframe what you're charging and how you charge it and the kind of clients that you're attracting. And once you do this, once you start charging what you're actually worth and attracting the clients who really want to work with you, that upward spiral starts again. Okay, you start to feel better about your business, you can start to create more money, you start to create better outcomes both for yourself and for your clients. So then you attract more of the same. That upward cycle starts again. So positive money mindset has amazing results in your business. And if you haven't got one, you need to create one, which we'll be talking about in just a few minutes. Okay, so whether you feel like you've got a bit of a money mindset that's holding you back, a lot of people don't like to think they've got a negative money mindset, but if you feel that your money mindset is holding you back, or if you've got a money mindset that's very positive and you feel is driving you forward, whichever one you have, you might have a bit of a mixture of both of them. That is driven by something called your paradigm. Okay, you may or may not have heard us talk about paradigms before. If you follow Bob Proctor in any way, shape, or form, who is my mentor and trainer, you will have heard lots about paradigms. So, what is your paradigm? Your paradigm is almost like your sort of operating system. Okay, if you think about Windows for a PC or iOS for Apple, Mac and your iPhone. That's the operating system, kind of dictates how they run. And your paradigm does the same for you, okay? It's how you're programmed to be, right? It's how you're programmed to do virtually everything. Your paradigm controls 96 to 98% of your habitual behavior, okay? And 96 to 98% of your behavior is habitual. Okay, so the vast majority of your behavior are the things that you're doing and saying and thinking and the decisions that you're making and the way you're reacting and all the things that you're doing all day long from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to sleep on a night time. The vast majority of that is habitual. In other words, it's your subconscious mind that's running it. Okay, you're doing it unconsciously. You're not thinking about it consciously. Okay, think about driving your car, walking to the shop, getting up on a morning and brushing your teeth. You do not have to consciously give your body second by second instructions on how to do those things. Okay, it's habitual behavior, it's programmed into you, and we all do those things a certain way. And in business, it means that we make certain decisions habitually, we will accept or reject certain kinds of ideas habitually, we will consider or not consider particular types of opportunity habitually. We're just programmed to behave a certain way. We haven't decided that we're going to create a paradigm that's going to be our operating system. Okay, it's not something that we have built. It's something that's been built for us by the people we grew up with. All right, so if you imagine when you're born, or even when you're in the womb, you get a little bit of DNA from mom, a little bit of DNA from dad. Okay, so there, to start with, you're already a little bit of a mixture of your parents. Okay, so there's a little bit in there that's going to dictate your habits, the way you do certain things, the way you look. Okay, so you've already got a little bit of mum and dad before you're even born. Then you're born and you come out into the world and you're looking at other people to learn what to do and how to behave. Okay, so we copy them. We copy our parents. We copy the way they move, the way they talk, their kind of accent, the way they sit, the way they eat, everything. Okay, we learn all that from our parents. That becomes habitual behavior, and then as we're growing up, we take on their beliefs. They will tell us certain things they want us to know. They won't tell us certain things that they don't want us to know. They'll show us how to do certain things. They will have certain expectations of us. They will teach us certain things. Teachers will teach us certain things. So we develop our beliefs and our habitual behavior and our self-image. So the things that we think are possible for us and the way we see ourselves, we develop all of that from programming that we are given as we're growing up. Okay, and it carries on all the way through our lives, actually. So then things that we see on the TV, or we read in the newspaper, or we see on social media, that's feeding in all the time into our paradigm and programming our habitual behavior, our beliefs, and our self-image. And collectively, they make up your paradigm. So they make up that thing that controls the vast majority of your behavior. So in business, this can be a real problem, because if you think about the way you were brought up, your parents probably brought you up in a way that they thought was very safe. They were teaching you to be polite. They were teaching, they thought, the best way for you to learn things. Okay, so their opinion mattered a lot. Their paradigm, the way they operate, had a big influence on how they then brought you up and the things they taught you, things they told you. Now that's fine when you're a child. Okay, they want you to, they want to protect you. When they're saying to you, you go off on your bike, learn to ride your bike, and they're saying, don't fall, make sure you put your feet down every time you stop. And those kind of things, when you think about it, are kind of programming into you a fear of failure or a fear of losing things. And those things are all very important when you're young. Nobody's suggesting otherwise. People program these things into you, usually without any malice intended. And they're very useful when you're young. But as you're growing up, they become not so useful. In fact, they become things that will probably hold you back. So, worrying about what people think. Your parents might have been parents who told you not to talk so loud, only to talk to adults when you were spoken to, only to say something that was relevant to the conversation, or, these little things that build up over time through repetition, okay? Because it's the repetition of hearing these things and doing these things that put it into your subconscious mind, that build that paradigm. As you get older, obviously, those kind of things can then hold you back. Fear of what people might think, fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of people thinking that you're too loud or too quiet. Those kind of things really hold you back. As you will know, if you're a woman in business who's ever wanted to get into speaking or doing webinars or doing Facebook Lives, things like that, those kind of things can really hold you back. And it still comes back, it's mindset, and it feeds into your money mindset as well, because these fears about what people will think, Not wanting people to think badly of you, not wanting people to think you're greedy, and those kind of things, they have all come from the same place. So your paradigm, which we can equate to your money mindset, is very, very important. So here's an example of some of the things you might have heard when you were young that lead to you having a not so positive money mindset. Okay, so some of the statements you might have heard, you might recognize some of these from growing up, from either your parents or your grandparents, people that were around you, people that looked after you. So first one, I can't afford that right now. Or don't you think you've had enough this weekend? Or I've just bought so-and-so, don't ask for anything else. Okay. Second one, money doesn't grow on trees, where do you think this money's coming from? Do you think I'm made of money? That was another one that I heard a lot. You might have heard your parents talking about another family, maybe. I heard my parents talk about other families. In my case, it was families who had a lot of money. They would kind of say, oh, they don't know, they're born, they've never had to worry about money. Or, oh, they live on another planet, those people. Equally, you might have heard it the other way. You might have heard negative remarks about families that don't have very much money. Okay, you might have been brought up with the belief that they're not very hardworking, or those kind of families spend their money on, cigarettes and alcohol or something like that. So it goes both ways. Okay, your mindset can be positive or negative depending on what you've been brought up with. But these are examples of negative phrases that tend to lead to a more negative mindset, which is the thing that holds most people back. So another one, he's got more money than sense. I wish I had a pound for every time I'd heard that. He's got more money than sense, that lad. You don't get rich by being honest. That's another one that I heard. Do you think I'm made of money? And this is one that I've heard as I've grown up, not necessarily when I was young. What's the point in earning more money? I'll just have to pay more tax. Now, those of you who know me will know I used to be an accountant. I have heard that over and over and over again. What's the point in earning more money? I'll just have to pay more tax. Haven't got time into why that statement's complete rubbish now, but I just understand that I think that statement is complete rubbish, okay? And all of these kind of statements feed into your ideas and your beliefs and your self-image as they relate to money. So the good news is, we know why having a positive money mindset or a growth mindset or an abundance mindset, we know why that's so important now when it comes to having a business and to earning money. And the good news is that you can change yours. So in much the same way as your money mindset has been created, or your paradigm, as I explained earlier, has been created through repetition, okay, constant repetition of ideas, that's how you change it. That is the way to change it. It's pretty much the only way to change it. Okay, and there are a few ways to do that. I have written a blog post recently which details them all, and I'll put a link to that below this video. I'll just really quickly run through what they are now with you. So the first one that I use, the first method to change your mindset from a negative to a positive one, is visualization. Okay, visualization is something I use with all my clients. It's something that I use regularly, multiple times a day, to change the way that I think. And basically the way that you do it is by finding time to yourself and literally coming up with the picture on your mind of how you want things to be. Okay, we need to stop thinking about the current situation. We need to stop thinking about grows. Okay, and if you think about your current results all the time, you're just going to get more of the same. You need to be thinking about how you want things to be, not how they currently are. Visualization is a really, really powerful way to do that. Literally, find yourself some time, close your eyes, bring onto the screen of your mind a picture of how you think, how you want things to be, and try to keep it there as long as possible. Okay, we're using our imagination, we're using our will, okay, those higher mental faculties that we've been given. We're using those to hold that picture as long as possible and as often as possible on the screen of your mind. Now, it's also important that you get emotionally involved with that picture. Okay, you need to try to feel how it will feel when that's actually happened. Okay, when you've actually got that result. The emotion's important, and that helps to instill that picture onto your subconscious mindset. So visualization is my top tool and resource. If you go to the blog, you'll also see some other resources there. But the next thing I want to speak about is affirmations. Okay, so affirmations are my second tool I'm giving you to help change your money mindset. Some people really struggle with visualizing. I certainly used to. If you're not used to using your imagination, which a lot of people aren't, especially older people, aren't used to using their imagination for positive means. So you might find that it's better for you to write out affirmations. And affirmations are just positive statements of how you want things to be. Okay, does exactly the same thing as visualizing. Writing these out will make you think. Okay, writing makes you think because you've got to think of what to write. Okay, as you think about it, that puts a picture of that thing that you've written down on the screen of your mind. And as that picture comes onto the screen of your mind, it makes you feel a certain way. That feeling, that emotion is what just as powerful as visualizing. It's an alternative, or you can do it as well as. You want to write out some affirmations, some positive statements of how you want things to be. Okay, not how they currently are, how you want things to be. Okay, you might do things like you might choose something like the work I do makes a huge difference in people's lives. I'm a millionaire coach and my clients love me. I give thousands of pounds a month to charity, and I'm changing people's lives all around the world. Any kind of statement that embodies how you want things to be and is almost a polar opposite, if you like, of how things currently are. Okay. And you write them down and you read them over and over and over again. Okay, at least once on a morning or once on a night time. I would suggest you do it multiple times a day. You could also record yourself reading them, and then listen to that over and over again on loop for a few minutes a day. Really, really powerful. Just as powerful as visualizing, but it's an alternative or an addition to visualizing if you feel like you need it. Okay, the third tool I'm giving you today is gratitude. Having a gratitude journal is really, really impactful. You will hear many, many famous, successful entrepreneurs talking about how they use gratitude every day. I certainly do. Never did before. And once I implemented this, once I started using this, my mindset shifted really quickly. So I would suggest that you use just a notepad, or you can actually buy gratitude journals now. They're just notepads with a fancy cover. But get a notepad, and every morning, I would say as soon as you get up, you think of at least 10 things that you are grateful for and you write them down. Okay. And this needs to be genuinely grateful. Okay. Not just ticking a box. It's not just an exercise. You need to be writing things down that you really are genuinely grateful for, that you think, God, if I didn't have this, or if this hadn't happened, I don't know where I'd be. Okay. There's those kind of levels of gratitude that we're talking about, because it needs to come from the heart. Okay. You need to feel emotion, try to drive emotion with this. And you might have a few of the same things on there every day. What I would suggest is that you have 2 or 3 things on there expressing gratitude for things that haven't actually happened yet, but that you want to happen, so that are in your big goal. You want 2 or 3 things on there written in the present tense as if they've actually happened. So I am so happy and grateful now that, and write in the present tense as if a couple of things that you're wanting to happen have already happened. And, it raises your vibration, it puts you in the right frame of mind for the day, it grounds you, makes you remember what you've already got, and to help you feel happy and grateful for what you've already got, and just sets you up in the right frame of mind and raises that vibration, that frequency to where we need it to be to keep you in a positive mindset for the rest of the day. So gratitude Really powerful. Strongly suggest that you use that if you're not already using it. Okay, so my fourth tool to start changing your money mindset is to start making small changes to your money habits. And what I mean by that is by if you're one of these people who tends to scrimp and scrape a bit and tends to always go for the cheapest item, maybe you shop around like I used to do, maybe you go and buy certain things from the pound shop or from charity shops, or you're always going for the cheapest non-branded things. It really helps to start to shift your mindset to a positive mindset if you gradually start to change those habits. Okay, I did this by literally just once a week or every time I went shopping, just picking one item that was sort of the level up to what I would normally pick. So for a long time I would go with supermarket non-branded items like the smart price stuff, cheapest possible stuff. Obviously, there are a few different levels. So, if you think about coffee, for example, coffee, I would always buy, even though we didn't really like it, we would always buy the cheapest supermarket coffee. And then when I decided to start implementing this, I kind of went to the supermarket's next level. So it was still non-branded, but it wasn't the cheapest. It was kind of a little bit up from that. And I gradually got up, so then we got to Nescafe and all, little changes. You don't have to do it, or you don't have to suddenly stop shopping at the cheapest supermarket and going to the most expensive one. But little changes that you make to your money habits have a really big impact on your money mindset, and quite quickly, I found. Okay, just maybe chucking something in your basket at the supermarket that's a treat for yourself, or doing something that you would normally maybe put back because you thought it was too expensive. If this is a big deal to you, which it is to a lot of women, a lot of women have been brought up like I have to always to always shop around, to always get a bargain, to look for the cheapest possible option, or the unbranded version or whatever. That just reiterates a negative money mindset. It reiterates this feeling of kind of doing without, or just getting by, or just having the things you need and not allowing yourself to spend on the things you want instead of the things that you need. Because whenever the only things you buy are the things you need, you will only ever have the money for the things you need and not for the things you want. Okay, so you've got to start shifting it. Okay, it's one of those things where you've got to instigate it. You've got to make the change before you see the results. A lot of people are waiting until they earn more money before they'll go for those more expensive things. Or I hear people saying, I wish I could have fresh flowers delivered every week. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. When I'm earning 6 figures a year, that's what I'm going to do. Well, you know what? You've got to start buying those flowers before the income comes. Now, it sounds a strange way to do it. Sounds a bit weird. Absolutely true. And it's down to your mindset. It's the way that your mindset works. It's the way you have programmed your paradigm, or reprogrammed your paradigm. Okay, so small changes to your money habits, really powerful. So my fifth tool in creating a new positive money mindset is tithing. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about tithing, only to say that tithing is giving 10% of your income. Now, it does have a religious foundation. I am not a religious person. I don't follow a particular religion. But I learned about this a few years ago from a mentor that I had, a coach that I had 5 or 6 years ago, and I decided to try it. And it absolutely works for me, and it works for everybody that I know that uses it. So I would strongly recommend that you try it. Give it a go for a few months, no matter how little money you've got. When I first started doing this, I was tithing, like literally looking at my bank account, and I'd have £3 in it, and I would tithe 30 pence. I'd just put 30 pence in like the blind dogs drop box thing in the supermarket. 10% of whatever you've got If you tithe it, there are all kinds of reasons why it works. Again, I'm not going to speculate on all that here because I just don't have time. And people are coming from different places. Some people have a religious background, some people have a spiritual background, some people just have a scientific background, or some people just don't believe anything really. But believing this works. Okay, tithing works for whatever reason we give it, and we could have a long discussion about it. It works. So it's giving 10% of all the income that comes into your bank account, working out what 10% is, and giving it to a place that gives you spiritual food. Now, that might sound a bit woo-woo, but basically, it's giving to an individual or an organisation who has inspired you in some way, okay, or who inspires you. So I give to the Unstoppable Foundation, which is an organisation that builds schools in places like Africa and South America, and supports the whole village. Okay, so they don't just give them food, don't just give them water. They educate the kids, they build schools, they teach the parents how to create businesses. They are helping the villagers there improve their own lives, rather than just giving them food or just giving them water, which just kind of helps them survive and doesn't really get them out of the situation that they're in. So, a lot of charities give that kind of emergency help, which is literally just giving them what they need, basically to keep them where they are. Now, that's still important, and I still give to those kind of charities, but it's not what we would class as a tithe. Okay, tithing is giving to a person or organisation that has inspired you in some way, and that is inspiring others to grow. Okay, that's my definition of tithing. You might want to look it up, you might want to Google it, look it up in the dictionary or whatever. It's definitely worth exploring. I would definitely try it if you haven't, and log your income every day, and log how much you tithe and who you tithe to, and just see what the pattern is. Just see if it makes a difference for you, and I can almost guarantee it will if you do it regularly and you do it with the right intent. Okay, so we're not giving to make money. Okay, if you go into it with that mindset, that's the wrong one. Not going to work. You need to come at it from a place of giving. Okay, giving because you can, and giving because you want to. All right, so tithing is my last tool that I'm giving you to change your money mindset. Okay, so to finish off then, what happens when you change your money mindset? What can you expect if you actually succeed in changing your money mindset from one that's a little bit negative and that's holding you back to a positive mindset, to a growth mindset, or an abundance mindset? Well, the main difference is that you start to think and start to make decisions from where you want to be. Okay, you kind of take yourself away from where you currently are and stressing over your current situation and thinking about it all the time, maybe thinking about the debt that you're in, thinking about how you're going to pay the bills. You start thinking from a place of expecting good things to happen and making decisions where you expect good things are going to happen. And that is the place of a successful entrepreneur. That is the place successful entrepreneurs are thinking from. And you need to step into that, and changing your mindset from one that's holding you back to one that's pulling you forwards will do that. You will start to come across opportunities. You start to attract people and resources that you need to attract to get to where you want to go. You'll start to develop faith in your own abilities and faith that good things are going to happen. You'll start to believe that what you want to happen is actually possible, and you raise your frequency. Okay, I know we're not talking about a lot of attraction or a lot of vibration here, but just know that your energy levels, the frequency that you are vibrating at, is dictating what you're attracting into your life. Okay, raising your mindset, raising your money mindset will raise your frequency and will mean that you attract more good into your life and your business than you currently are, and you will stop being stuck. Okay, so I'm putting the link in the blog post underneath this video. If you want to see more about me, you can go to emmahague.com. I have got a free 5-day challenge coming up. You'll also see the link for that below. Hope you'll join me on there. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video.